Scusa signora, scusa. Scusa. Primo nero, mai paura. Tutto bene signora? Signora, tutto bene?
Okay, so in this video, I'm just going to list some things that are winding the infidels, the non-believers of Islam up, and it's basically favoritism, I think, is what people have had enough of. If you are Muslim in the UK, there's priority housing. Do you know halal meat is now supplied in schools and hospitals? And there are probably parents out there that don't even know that your children are eating halal meat. And for anyone that doesn't know what halal is, it's the way they kill their animals. So they cut their throats and they bleed to death while they're squealing in pain, and they say a prayer over them. And that's apparently the right way to slaughter an animal. It's barbaric. But anyway, mosque approvals going up everywhere, but we get refused building approvals for all sorts of things. The Islamic celebrations that are thrown down our face, Eid, Ramadan, lights everywhere in London, you know, all the posters on the buses that I've already done one on. Prayer spaces everywhere. In workplaces now, there's everywhere you go. There's accommodating prayer where they have to go and pray 5 times a day. Unbelievable. The burqa is okay to go into a petrol station or a shop with a burqa on where you're just showing your eyes. But if you go into a petrol station or with a motorcycle helmet on, you will be asked to remove it. You'll be asked to remove it because it's offensive. They can't see your face. Can you see your face with a burqa on? Okay. We're still paying, taxpayers are still paying money for interpreters to people that have been here 20 odd years and can't speak a fecking word of English. That's wrong. Actually, that's not right. Why are we paying for people that can't be asked to get off their, go to a school, go to evening school and learn English? Trying to ban pork now. Yeah, we're trying to ban, they're saying that pork's, because they don't like it and they see it as a dirty animal, they've got to ban it. Well, guess what? We like it. Dogs in parks, don't like the fact that we have dogs in parks because they don't like animals. They don't like dogs. They see them again as dirty, filthy animals. And the hate, just the general hate for the infidels. The Quran suggests, there's this verse in the Quran that says, basically, kill the infidels. You know, that they cannot accept anyone that is a non-believer of Islam. So you moderate Muslims, you come to me now and tell me why this isn't causing divide and segregation, because it is. It's unfair, and we've had enough of it. So yeah, come on, show your faces, all you moderate Muslims, and tell me I'm wrong.
What does your sign mean?
It says Allah is gathering all the Zionists for the final solution.
What is that? A mushroom cloud?
Yeah, just like we're saying that Allah is going to destroy them, the Zionist state, because they're oppressing the Muslims.
Okay, yeah, is that like a nuclear bomb or something?
I don't know what's going to happen, but just like the example of what Allah is going to do, Allah's destruction. We don't know how it's going to happen.
Okay. What does your flag mean there?
It says there is no God but Allah. Muhammad is the messenger of Allah.
Okay. Can I ask, do you have a job?
It's not relevant.
Excuse me?
It's not relevant.
Well, I'm just curious because you're here on a Wednesday, middle of the day here. Like, what do you do for your day job?
It's not relevant.
Oh, I'm just curious.
It's not relevant.
They want power. War keeps them relevant. Fear keeps them funded. And they'll send their own citizens, their sons and daughters, to die if it means more contracts and champagne meetings in Brussels. Incredible. But people are waking up. Slovakia's prime minister said he'll veto Ukraine's NATO membership because he knows it means World War III. Poland, Hungary, and Italy are also joining suit. They see the game for what it is. And while the EU screams about Russia, France, Spain, and Belgium just dropped €1 billion on Russian gas. They're literally funding the same country they're preparing to fight. You can't wage war and fund the enemy. Well, unless, of course, the war itself is the goal. Look, I've been to war. I've seen what it does. It's not noble. It's not clean. It's not strategy. It's paying chaos and death. So yeah, I get fired up when cowards in suits send others to die while they profit. And Zelensky still begging for more money and weapons because he knows once the war ends, so does his power. And here's a slap in the face for everyone. Ukraine's building a $1.5 billion Euro luxury ski resort in a war zone. The East is burning. Men are being dragged to the front. And in the West, they're freaking skiing. It's a scam, and people are finally starting to see it. Share this because if you're still buying what they're selling, you aren't paying attention.
This happened today in the same place. 5 people were stabbed last week, and they said it was a deliberate attack and it was a failed car bomb. I wonder why European countries are increasingly getting more dangerous. If only there was something to correlate it to. Why are people setting car bombs and stabbing people?
You haven't become desensitized.
Every month, Touring Today has an all-black flight crew and an all-black cabin crew.
He's an early 30 and you're a late 50.
Yeah.
But somehow you both look the same age there.
I suck baby's blood. And put it on my face.
P. Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, the new Health Minister has stated that it's okay for a human being to present as a llama. So what I want to know is if I have a family member who presents as a llama, suddenly becomes ill in the middle of the night, do they send for a doctor, a vet, or a straitjacket?
Mr. Speaker, I can just say to the honourable member that my honourable friend, the Minister for Public Health, believes in treating every human being with the dignity and respect they deserve.
Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak.
For the first time ever, the King allowed hundreds of Muslims to break their fast in a royal residence.
Assalamu alaikum. Hayakum maratan ukhra.
Here they are saying, fuck Islam and fuck the police. So I find this crazy that people can't see it for what it is. But this image looks like what would happen if you conquered a city. You'd all go to the town centre, you'd celebrate and you'd fly your country's flag and you'd play your country's music. This is Italy, New Year's Eve.
So MPs will be shortly voting whether or not you're allowed to talk on certain subjects in pubs. So as well as removing your free speech on social media, they're now looking at what you can and what you cannot say in a pub. So they'll be voting on this new Labour legislation soon, and you could be seeing that enforced in pubs and restaurants in and around the UK. So it looks like as well as locking people up for protesting, making more room in prisons for anyone that wants to protest or say anything, banning what you can and what you can't say on social media, they're now looking at making it stricter for what you can and what you can't talk about in pubs. What a fucking prison the UK is.
We've learned that more people were sentenced in Rotherham for the summer riots than have been for the grooming gang scandal. The authorities went after weekend rioters with greater energy than they have done for the perpetrators of decades-long rape and sexual violence against vulnerable young girls. Two-tier care has called for inquiry on all manner of things, but somehow not on this, the rape of young girls in at least 50 towns and cities across our country, and which almost certainly continues to this day. Why? Because he's squeamish about confronting hard truths, the overrepresentation of Pakistani men, and the racially aggravated sexual assault and hatred shown towards young white girls. It's shameful, and the fight for justice must go on.
Let's make Great Britain great again. Thank you. Thank you. Being Trump and the Americans, it has made me even more determined than ever to restore our unique country through a great repeal act when Labour falls at the next election. I don't particularly care if we're liked by the rest of the world. I care if we're respected. Because right now, Britain is a joke, and it has been for some time. I want the British government to put the British people at the top of the agenda. Yeah. We should make no apologies for that. Learn from Trump. Let's be unapologetically patriotic. Slash tax across the board. Enforce the border. Deport those with no right to be here. Accept biological reality. Fight back against wokery. Bulldoze nonsensical foreign aid. Eradicate DEI. Deliver sensible infrastructure, carpet bomb public sector waste, brutally crack down on crime, and plenty more. Let's make Great Britain great again. Thank you. Thank you.
Small coffee, medium coffee cup. Look. Yeah. So now medium, large, watch. No way. So this is to do with the circumference at the bottom of the cup. So interestingly, whenever you buy yourself a large coffee, you're actually just getting a small. Weird.
Children and adults alike are identifying as all kinds of different things. Hundreds of people who identify as dogs bark at each other at this Berlin train station. This phenomenon is known as trans species. People who believe they're another animal trapped in a human's body. This woman lives as a horse, which has clearly yielded her certain athletic abilities. This 13-year-old boy identifies as a cat. He eats cat food out of the dish on the floor and even uses cat toys. But does he use the litter box? But it doesn't stop at animals. People can identify as anything. This girl identifies as an elf. She identifies as a baby. This one a mermaid. This is a lawyer who identifies as a robot. Is this behavior something that we should be concerned about? Or in a free and open society, should people have the right to be and act and do whatever they'd like as long as they're not hurting anybody? I tend to agree with the latter.
Oh my God, don't tell me I weren't recording any of that. I weren't recording the flyover.
Get a picture of me and him, mate. Yeah, not to share for the internet, but shame my missus. Whoa, look at those about children. That's mad, look how they just angle it. I'm going to go up.
Yeah, I'm coming up too.
Do you need some
I've got to film again, I've just not fucking filmed it. Yeah.
Alright, I'm coming down.
Welcome back, guys. And you're currently looking at Nestcliff training camp, where we have at least 200 Afghans that have been flown in from Pakistan and placed here, and they will be here until they're housed. They're not illegal immigrants, they've been invited, and we're told we owe them this. I don't know if they knew. You got the older blocks and the newer pods. The newer ones have got the solar panels on. So here you will see the thing that's fenced off is the firing range. Right, I'm going to bring this down because we've got a bit of we've got strong wind and we've got police chopper.
The country that conquered a quarter of the world and has set foot in nearly every nation on earth. The British did what no other nation could. We were feared, we were respected, and our influence shaped the modern age. From the redcoats who marched across continents to the Royal Navy that ruled the seas, Britain was unstoppable. But it wasn't just about conquest, it was about creation. We built cities, railways, and governments that still stand today. We established trade networks that shaped the global economy. We carried law, industry, and the English language to the farthest corners of the earth. The British Empire wasn't just the largest in history, it was the most influential. Some will try to make you feel ashamed of this legacy, but history is not about guilt, it's about truth. And the truth is, Britain achieved what no other nation dared. Our past was one of power, ambition, and vision. And while the empire may be gone, its mark on the world will never fade.
Truly Islamist country that will get a nuclear weapon. And we were like, maybe it's Iran, you know, maybe Pakistan already kind of counts. And then we sort of finally decided maybe it's actually the UK, since Labour just took over.
Does he really believe that the UK has become the first truly Islamist country that will get a nuclear weapon?
I was in the room when he made that remark. It was an after-dinner speech. It was uttered plainly in jest. The audience laughed when he said it, and he smiled when he said it.
So he doesn't believe that?
I think what he does believe, and what many, many Americans believe when they look across to the United Kingdom, is that we are not the unified nation that we used to be.
Adolescents yet.
The BBC tried to embarrass Kemi Badenoch this morning, but I think that she embarrassed them.
No, I haven't. I probably won't. It's a film on Netflix, and most of my time right now is spent visiting the country.
It's a four-part series on Netflix, and everyone is talking about it. It is prompting conversations about toxic masculinity, smartphone use, young men feeling that they're being ignored, the idea of misogyny being increased in school. Why would you not want to know what people are talking about?
Well, I think that those are all important issues, and those were issues that I've been talking about for a long time. But in the same way that I don't need to watch Casualty to know what's going on in the NHS, I don't need to watch a specific Netflix drama to understand what's going on. It's a fictional series. It is not a documentary.
Interrogated by police for a criminal investigation into a meme that was posted 4 years ago. And if you think that's crazy, in 2 days I must appear in front of the Court of Appeals for another case about memes that were posted 8 years ago by others in a private group chat. I face multiple years in jail for racist memes that I didn't even post myself. And to know that 10 kilometers from here in Brussels, migrant gangs shoot and kill people with weapons of war on a daily basis, but literally none of them get arrested or jailed.
China is nearing the completion of the highest suspension bridge in the world, and this thing is insane. It stands 9 times higher than the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco at a staggering 2,050 feet. That is over twice the height of the Eiffel Tower, and it's almost a mile long. This means that it will also surpass the length of the UK's Hammer Bridge, which held the record for the longest suspension bridge for 17 years. But the craziest thing is that to build this, they essentially had to drill a skyscraper-sized tower to the side of a cliff. Not the bottom, the side. And they still said that that would be able to hold a multi-lane highway on it. And because of this, they literally had to create custom construction platforms where workers had to operate cranes while suspended thousands of feet in the air. Construction of this thing began in 2022, and they say that it'll be fully operational this year.